Cloud Bambalang, where the Fon of Bambalang, who also doubles as the president of the Northwest Chiefs Conference and also the vice president of the Regional House of Assembly, Nsungkikang, was kidnapped by members who identified themselves to be as separatist fighters fighting for what they termed the restoration of the southern Cameroons. And also, today make exactly 7 months since he was adopted, and yet official information as to why and when he was adopted is yet to be made public. The government of Cameroon is yet to also carry out an effective statement or rescue operation as far as this is concerned. Today, June, also is a very dark month for those who had their family members kidnapped in Ndian in 2021 on the 15th of June last year. 6 divisional delegates were kidnapped in Ndian, in the locality in Ndian, which is found in the southwest region of Cameroon. And 1 was killed, that is Modika Johnson. As of today, the whereabouts of 5 of those divisional delegates is yet to be accounted for, meaning 15th of June this year will clock exactly 1 year since the kidnapped delegates were taken by armed separatist fighters, and we are yet to have official information as to their whereabouts. On the 30th of April 2022, this year, a revered senator, highly respected mother of the country, was also adopted in Bamenda in the person of Regina Mundi. Senator Regina Mundi was kidnapped on the 30th of April. She spent just 30 days in captivity, and she said she was rescued, and the government also said she was rescued by our military, the forces of law and order, and they rescued our revered Senator Mundi. But till date, we are yet to have official statement, or the public is yet to be educated as of what happened to the Fon of Bambalang. Is he still alive? Are the Ndian 5 still alive? As we await to see what the state will do as far as this is concerned, we just want to let you know that today we will look at the situation surrounding the kidnap of the Fon of Bambalang and also that of the Ndian 5. Their families also need accountability, and their families also need to see them, same as the family of Senator Regina Mundi was happy to receive Senator Regina Mundi. This is House of Commons with me, Tah Mai Jarvis. You're welcome back from that break. If you are just joining us, you're watching House of Commons from Cameroon's economic capital, Douala, where we are broadcasting. And the topic of today's Senator Regina Mundi regains freedom. And of course, the Fon of Bambalang, the Ndian 5, the whereabouts still yet to be determined. And here in the studio to discuss this, we'll have Emmanuel, who is a co-founder of New Era Africa Youth, to discuss on this issue. Emmanuel, happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday, Tah Mai Jarvis. Greetings to all my co-panelists. Greetings to all the viewers and lovers of House of Commons. I wish to take this opportunity to reintroduce what you just said. I'm the co-founder and the SG for NEA, New Era Youth for Africa, an organization that has come up to save humanity since politics has failed. You know, we looking from the both sides of the story. African governments and African politicians have chosen to sacrifice their people for their political gains. And we have discovered that should we stay mute or keep shouting without acting, it will not benefit the African population in any way. So just to precise that, it's not a Cameroon phenomenon, but it's an organization that will run across Africa. As time goes, you will discover how many countries we have been able to lay contacts with, and we are already citing our bases there. So humanity is our new religion.
Thank you very much. Also, we have Innocent Barazil, a political observer. Innocent Barazil, happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday to Mr. Tah Mai Jarvis. And I'm happy to hear once more happy Sunday to all my co-panelists and all the viewers of my House of Commons, my Media Prime.
Happy Sunday to you, His Majesty Edward Molingue, who was officially enthroned yesterday in Moya, Chieftown of Moya Court area, which happens to be the bread-breeding basket of Fako Division. It was a coronation that brought together more than 5,000 people from the different court areas in Fako Division, from Moya Court area, moved right up to the Boya Town Court area, and also we had people who came from different parts of the country to witness the coronation. Happy Sunday to all those of you who took time to organize the coronation, especially Billy Bob Lifongo. Happy Sunday to you too, and happy Sunday to you, the chairman of the traditional council in Moya Ponjoke. Happy Sunday. Here in the studio we also have Prince Kotem, the son of the lion of the Northwest region. Prince Kotem, you're welcome and happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday, Mr. Tah Mai Jarvis, and a warm Sunday to my co-panelists here, especially Mr. Emmanuel, my very good friend Samori. And happy Sunday to all the viewers of my Media Prime out there, especially those in Tiko, in Bamenda, Balikumbat, those here in Bonaberi. Happy Sunday, Mr. Tah Mai again. And I really want to applaud your effort in always striving to see that we have pertinent topics like this which actually concerns the well-being of our families back there in the Northwest and Southwest, where this crisis has been hitting the country for the past 5-6 years now, and at the point in time where an international organization, the Norwegian Refugee Council, has also classified the Anglophone crisis to be among the third world neglected conflict, which means that it is something which is very much pertinent to talk about, and I'm happy to be among this panel that will really be elaborating on it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Also here in the studio we'll have Mr. Ignatius. Mr. Ignatius, happy Sunday and thanks for joining us.
Happy Sunday, Jarvis. Happy Sunday to my co-panelists. Happy Sunday to televiewers of my Media Prime, especially those of House of Commons. I think that is a pleasure, it's a duty for a true citizen to always have concern in issues that concern the state, your country. And I also believe that through the opportunity that you have been giving to some of us to come and share ideas, and then I know that sometimes in future there's going to be a positive change. I'm also happy to see, to hear what came from what Ndian just said. I believe that it is time we begin to shift ourselves from counting on people who are out of the continent because they have failed us in several cases. And this is the time. I believe that Ndian he has just started, and the win is going to be a win of change across Africa.
Thank you very much. Also, I kickstart the program with this excerpt was our revered senator, most highly respected Senator Mundi, released or rescued. Let's get to listen to her discussion. She said this region is at war, and that the Northwest region is at war, and that the military is difficult for the military. Senator Regina Mundi said it is difficult for the military. But we've been hearing reports from top-ranking officials that the war is contained. But if Senator Mundi said it is difficult for the military, how true are her assertion?
I see. And all the generals are present. There are times when a politician cannot talk much. as a teacher politician, I should not lack words, but there are times when the emotions are too heavy. I'm really overwhelmed with a concern for my release, starting from the presidency. In fact, I thank the head of state. I thank all the generals and all the military people. As they say in Pidgin, story long, time short. What I have seen within this month is not what we can talk here. But this country, this region is at war, real war. It is not easy. It is really difficult for the military. It is not easy.
It is not easy. It is really difficult for the military. This region is at war, real war. Those were the words of our revered senator, highly respected Senator Mundi. I begin with you, Prince Kotem. You are from the northwest region of Cameroon, and you have a good mastery about the terrain itself. You're from, I think it should be Bambalang, Balikumbat. Very used to some of these kind of conflict. And if you got what Senator Mundi said, that this region is at war.
Thank you, Mr. Tah Mai. She said it very well. I think she said a teacher, politician, which therefore means she masters what she's saying. It's not just by an error that she said what actually she said. So, sincerely, everybody and everyone that lives in the region and out of the region that is very particular about the incident will know very well that the region is at war. It is, and it has been classified, like I said before, as the third most neglected crisis in the world, which means that sincerely there is a hard-hit crisis which is going down there, which some people have actually refused to see. Others have, with the passage of time, some have actually accepted it, but as time goes on, they keep playing with the words, whether it is a crisis or it is a war, or whether it is something which is what getting a lasting solution to it. This is where the problem actually comes, because now today it has touched the senator, whereas we've also seen other instances where, like we talked about, the Fon of Funds for the Northwest, the president of the House of Funds, the Fon Of Bambalang, which is still under captivity of those of the guys or those who took him away. We also know it's almost a year now with the 6 regional delegates that were being taken away in Ndian division, and many other instances have actually occurred within the passage of time. But still yet we get 1 or 2 excuses or reasons saying that we are trying to cope with it. For how long are we supposed to be coping with this? Why people are dying and things are still going wrong? Some people even are of the opinion that the President of the Republic does not have a good insight of what is happening. But now, another person who is reasoning will ask the question, if you're actually the President of the Republic, the one who oversees the nation, and the Northwest and Southwest region is also part of Cameroon, as everybody knows, we are under a system of a unitary state, decentralized unitary state. And we're talking about the decentralization. When we come to that, we'll even see how it has even affected the crisis and to where it is today, and why the senator has to was taken away. If we continue with the sense that the president does not have a mastery of it, then there are questions that must be asked. Is he really the president of the country, or some people are actually taking the advantage of his age or other things that may surround his ability to rule the country? And with such instances, what are the repercussions that will be felt? Of course, some of those repercussions will be how can I put it? Some mindsets will set their goals and want to achieve it because they want to maintain their positions. And that is why we've actually realized that the outcome of the major national dialogue, which is a dialogue that was supposed to bring a lasting solution to this problem, did not actually meet to its objectives. Now we talk about the special status. What is the special status actually given to the people of the Northwest and Southwest? That is a very big question. The regional council, the regional assembly, what has it given to the people of Northwest and Southwest? At the point in time, it seems like nothing is working. And if nothing is working, what are we doing? Do we actually need a new dimension of ways of looking into this? Do we actually need a new dialogue? Do we actually need consensus? The Cameroonian people, do they really need to come together? Or do we think that it is an international society or community that will come forth to help us to resolve this crisis?
Okay.
So I think that is very pertinent as we look into this, and we must accept that there is war in this region, and this war, if nothing is being done into sincerely, it will continue, because what has been going on, most people like myself think that enough has not been done to see into it.
Mr. Ignatius, Senator Mundi regains freedom after 30 days. We also have now the Fon Of Bambalang, who is the president of the Northwest House of Chiefs and doubles also as the vice president of the regional assembly. As we speak, he was adopted in December 2021. We count January, February, March, April, May, June. 6 months. If we have to add the December, it should be 7 months. We are yet to have an official communique from the state, and also yet to get a full detail as to whether rescue operations have been done or not. Is it not the right of his family to have him rescued? Or is it not the right of the public, the peace-loving people of Northwest and Southwest, to have information from the state as far as the well-being of their president of the Northwest House of Chiefs is concerned?
Thank you very much for the question. I think if you have to see across since 2016, I'm trying to see that among the public figures, I mean those renowned figures that have been adopted, this is the first one that the military has really engaged and they released. And then as for your question concerning the Fon of Northwest, it should be a signal to the government that the formula that was used towards the crisis is a wrong one. We should change it, change the formula. Let the government change from propaganda to real business. We should not take any small act carried out by either a minister or our military. We take it and make it a song, and making the outside world to see that the government is winning the war, why things are going deplorable in the country. That formula should change. Jarvis, I would like you to understand that I see things in this way. The government has the supremacy of this. The government is supreme. Let me put it like that. And then if the government is supreme, it is the duty of the government to put the country in order. And it is the duty of the country to solve any problem that is disturbing the country. I would like to say that if you as a person, if you put up a suit, or you are dressed in a kind of clothes that you love too much, you are well dressed, that you respect yourself, and you meet somebody who is returning from the farm and the person is offending you, I believe that if you respect what you are wearing on your body, the best solution, even that person slaps you, sometimes you can allow the slap and go away, because you value what is on you. And then the objective of that person, even you fight with the person and beat the person up, you are going to pay a price, because your dress is going to be stained up. I'm putting the government in that position. The government is taking the separatists as if they were on equal balance, in which just a short solution could have been applied there, and the thing goes off. So what I'm trying to say is that let the government understand that the solutions that have been applied since are not the right one. It is time. We don't pray that things like this, like the adoption of this model should happen. But if you want to see to an extent, if this adoption can provoke the government to engage into real dialogue, then let it be. But the fear is that they will not return alive. Like we are talking about the 5 delegates and the Fon of the Northwest. Because really, if this mother was not adopted and taken to the camp, she wouldn't have understood that there's real war, as she said, that there's real war. So it is time for us to engage in the real business and know that the people in the background are they are in captivity. Even those who are not in the camp, the population is in captivity. I've once said here that if your family is adopted, and then the people call you on phone, what kind of language do you use to them? Do you talk harshly, or you use a soft language? Because when somebody is holding a weapon, you have to be very careful, because that person does not have control. At any time, he can destroy. Let the government know that if the government considers the population on the ground to be a citizen, then let the government know the kind of solution.
Okay.
Yes.
Dealing with Emmanuel, the Fon of Bambalang, I'll still ask you the same question I asked Mr. Ignatius, and the same question will go around. The Fon of Bambalang is 7 months in captivity as we speak. 7 months. And he is not just the Fon. He is the president of the Northwest House of Chiefs. He is also the vice president of the Regional Assembly in the Northwest region. And this is a revered Fon, a highly respected Fon. And as we speak, we have not had an official information as far as this Fon is concerned. I'm sure you were one of the people who attended the program that we have been also talking about, where is Regina Mundi. I'm sure House of Commons took it as a program consistently that we needed information, and the government did not give information as to whether official release, as whether she has been kidnapped. We only received an official release that she has been rescued. Is it not time for the people, the family of the Fon of Bambalang, to also have their Fon back in the palace? Is it not also time for the people of Northwest region to have their president of House of Chiefs back? Or is it not time for them to even be updated, so official information? Well, what are we hiding?
Though your questions are many, I will try to summarize the main message from your question, which is very important. You know, many of us must have read Animal Farm by George Orwell. George Orwell puts it perfectly clear. All animals are equal, but some animals are more equal than others. That was in reading. In the interpretation of it, it has just happened in Cameroon. And we have discovered that some humans are more human than others. If I were to go far to quote from the Holy Book, even if I'm not a Christian, at least I read that book. Jesus Christ says, if you have 100 sheep and one of them is missing, you have to abandon the 99. You go looking for one. Because that one is very important. That is the role of a leader. That is leadership. Tah Mai Jarvis. Now, to fall back into your question squarely, if the services of the Fon of Bambalang were relevant to the community and in the building of this nation, I think Yaoundé would have got him released. I think it's a message that Yaoundé is sending to Cameroonians that his services are not important. His services that he rendered, or he was just there in a name. And the regional president stuff you are talking there, the palace stuff you are talking there, it was of no relevance. That's another message that Yaoundé is sending to the whole.
But you cannot say it's not relevant.
Listen,
when we know that he's the Fon of Bambalang and the president of the North House of Chiefs.
Can I now continue?
Yes, of course, he's the president.
Good. He's a president. Before he's kidnapped, tell me where he stood as a president and committed an act in the name of that presidency in Norway. Challenge me, that will give you back the microphone. Challenge me.
But we've seen.
Now, I am saying that if his services were so important and vital as we claim, because we are just claiming, I don't know what he was working as the president of the Norwest Fund or whatsoever. But then, I focus my importance on his life as a person, not as a politician, not as the Norwest president of chief or whatsoever. His life, if it does not matter to the administration of this country, I think his life matters to his family. At least for the sake of his family. I want to think that the same method and methodology that was applied by Yaoundé that released rescued Madame Mundi. I am using her words. She's the one who said it.
What do you mean?
It's
are you
not
by chance saying that there is a
listen.
No, I want you to answer. Are you by chance saying that there is a nuance in, or there is, a kind of rigmaroling in the process?
Well, whether rigmaroling or what, they are your words. You are the one using them. I am saying that the same method and methodology that was used to rescue release Madame Mundi should be applied to the Ndian fire, should be applied to the Joe of Bambalang, should be applied to others who have disappeared and we don't have a trace. That one makes us to know that our military has enough intelligence in this country that everybody can feel secure. Of course, if we were to subscribe and to go by that, then why are these 5 from Ndian not secured enough to have been released or rescued today? Why is the Fon Of Bambalang not secured enough to have been released or rescued today? Now, it goes back. I am happy you called me up for this program again. When I was here the first time to talk about Madame Senator Mundi, I made it clear, when your neighbor's house is on fire, it is your duty to assist the neighbor in rescuing that fire. If not, when by virtue of chance or bad luck, man, and the message I said the other time, I reiterate this morning, Madame Mundi, thank God you have been released at a time when you people will be sojourning once more at the Senate. Tell the story of the people of Northwest and Southwest at the Senate as it is. If it is possible, tell Mr. Abia, who is the president, the story as it is. Don't add, don't subtract. And to end, remember that you have never come out to denounce even the kidnapping of the Fon Of Bambalang. You have never come out to denounce the kidnapping of the Ndian. Even when babies were killed, you are a senator, you are representing the people, you never came out. This time, it fell squarely on you. I think God has chosen you as the Messiah to tell the right story so that those who care should listen and act fast. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Barazil, Ndian 5. One of you, I think it's your uncle, is your brother. Your brother is among the 5 who are still in captivity. Yes. And when you got the news that Senator Mundi has been released, rescue in the world of doom, what came to your mind? You feel your family has been abandoned because it's close to a year now.
Yes, I will look at it in 2 scenarios. The first scenario is that if she was released or rescued, and she said, it might be that the area where she was kidnapped, she is a mother. People see her as a mother, as a grandmother, as a sister, as sister-in-law, and many all those things. And so now, when she was in captivity now, they need to inform the military where she was, and they went and rescued her if she was rescued. On the other hand, it might also be that when she was kidnapped, people know her, and some of the people that kidnapped her, they saw her that this is her mother, and they could not have that mind to kill their own mother. They had the conscience. They did not have the conscience to kill their own mother. That was why they decided to ask for ransom, and they release her. So those are scenarios. And now for the Ndian 5. The Ndian 5 were just young men that were working in the division. Most of them, they were not even from the division. Now, most of them, when they go there, they were living by Ndian. Now, living in Ndian now, and they were even living mostly in, my brother was living in Limbe with his family. And he was just going to Mundemba for official reasons to work. Now, when he goes there, live in Mundemba, which means that people, those who know them, were only around Mundemba. But they were arrested, they were kidnapped out of Mundemba subdivision, around Okono City subdivision, which most people don't know them. And the people who kidnapped them did not, since they don't know them, there was not some because it's not like if you steal as you are my brother, even you steal by yourself, yeah, and they want to kill you, I might defend you. I know, leave him, he's my brother. But if it's another man, another they should kill the person because it's not my brother. So that is so to me, that might be the scenario. That Regina Mundi was known in the area where she was kidnapped. And these people now leaked the information to the military. And the military went there and rescued her, if I thought she was rescued. Or they also know her, and the guys in the bush decided to release her because they saw her as a mother, and maybe she has done one good thing to one of them or one person that relate to them. They decided, no, let us not kill this woman. Let us release her.
But the military of research at Tonfak says she was rescued. But people say they have not seen any of those things the military said. Dozens were neutralized, arms were seized, as the military always does that. And this is a high-profile operation that many would have longed to see some of these things.
Exactly. That's the point which I wanted to come. Because there, as I watched it, she said, release. That's the first word that came from her mouth. And even the Bible says the first word that comes from her mouth is the truth. Now,
are you saying that?
Which means that that first word that she spoke was actually what happened.
Are you saying that the second word, it was an influence?
Yes, it was an influence. And now, if the information was leaked to the military that she is here, the military, at least there would have been casualties, and we would have informed that there was casualties here and casualties there, but that was not happening. So it just means that the military went, and those guys ran away, and they came and carried her. Nobody can accept that.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes, nobody can accept that.
Yes. Prince, I don't want to question the military operation, but a lot of people within the social media sphere are, of course, posing questions that they've seen the trend of military operations as far as the conflict in the Northwest and Southwest region is concerned. The crisis is not even the conflict because it is not at the level of the crisis, and that people were killed in Bamenda, separatist fighters were killed, Mad Dog was killed, his body was displayed at the commercial avenue, and that any separatist that is killed, the body is seen, and that this one it appears like it was done in the days of like the way of Osama bin Laden, where the military may have killed the separatists, carried the body and dumped in the sea without the public knowing, and some are saying that no guns were seized. It's kind of confusing. You are from the Northwest region. What do you make of some of these nuance that people poses? That there's a trend, but they don't see that trend in terms of this case with Senator Mundi. That's why people are saying release, rescue.
Thank you very much, Mr. Tah Mai. I think my good brother here by my side, he used the same words that were being used by the senator herself. Released at a point in time and rescued at another point in time. So, but you understand, we are in a country where things are being done the way they are, and people do things the way they are. We communicate at times and we don't communicate at another point in time. And with the case of Senator Regina Mundi, you know, with the topography of the Northwest region and entirely the grass field, at times they say some operations may be technical, others may be very, very technical, as the words are always being used. But we will have to understand that it is not whether casualties were being met or casualties were not being met. What is important is that she has been released, and most people think that she has been released or rescued.
No, I just want to know.
She used the two words so, and we most people like myself hope that as we prayed and as the method which was being used to release her, those same methods or mechanism could be applied so that other people like the Fon Of Bambalang that everybody has been crying for should also be released or rescued in either way, because he is very, very important. If actually, Mr. Tah Mai, it comes back to this question of whether we really want a lasting solution to this problem or not. And like some jurists would always say, res ipsa loquitur, which means that the fact speaks for itself, because you wouldn't tell us that or tell everybody in Cameroon that we are in the process of applying the decentralization properly. And the regional house, which is one of the organs that needs to be there, is being put in place. Wherefore, we have the particularity, the House of Chiefs. And the person who is the head of the House of Chiefs have been taken away for a very long period of time and nothing is being done. What are the things that were supposed to be done by the House of Chiefs in order to help get a lasting solution to this Anglophone problem or the Anglophone crisis that has been going on? If the regional assembly or the House of Chiefs was that important and the type of money that was being lavished on it in order to put in place that structure merited it, so why the same energy and strength and mechanisms, whether rescue or release, is not being used in order to bring him back? Well, it's a very big question that so many people out there have the answers, and like I said before, the answer speaks for itself. It goes a long way to explain to any ordinary person that these organs are not actually put in place to do the work that was supposed to be done. Because if they are actually there, we would have been seeing their work on the field, which is not the case, and the crisis then going is still advancing. What I think that Cameroonians should do, or everybody in Cameroon needs to do, is that we need to put hands together. We must come together, whether from the Anglophone part of Cameroon or the Francophone part of Cameroon, or whether former West Cameroon or former East Cameroon. They need to come together, because if you go widely, you realize that it seems more like we're living in a society of where we live in different communities. Because you know what is happening today in Douala, the affair Dikolo. People will come per community, and because it's a problem that concerns or affects a particular community, we want to look at it in the communal way. No. And that is why you see the crisis in the Northwest and Southwest has been going on for a very long period of time. And people say, no, c'est some Ambazoni. No, some people say, no, they are terrorists. Everybody, it seems like everybody from that part of the region becomes a terrorist, or what you want to. It's not a communal thing. It's something which is being suffered by all Cameroonians, whether from the north, from the east, the south, the west, the center. Everybody's going through it. But there is something which some advocates have also seen, that it seems like the regime which is in place, that is ruling, is using every mechanism possible in order to retain power. But that's from an analytical point of view that I will give. Any regime will want to do that too, because everybody wants to stay in power. But the question is, what are these citizens? What are you guys doing out there? Do you know your civic responsibility? Do you know what you have to do? Do you only look around with a lot of distinction as per your community or where you come from? That is not what is supposed to be done. Everybody needs to understand that, because the crisis which is hitting Cameroon is hitting everybody. I said, whether you are from which part of Cameroon, is hitting everybody. And so if there's a solution that needs to be made, it's everybody that needs to put their hands on deck in order to have this solution. That is why we have to understand that the people from the Northwest and Southwest are facing a crisis, and this crisis is escalating, and it is dilapidating, if we have to be honest with ourselves. And that solution must be met to this crisis.
Mr. Ignatius, how will you explain that by divisional delegates, even after they were kidnapped, an official communique has not come out? An official communique. And this month, makes 1 year. On the 15th of June, this month, will make exactly 1 year. We don't know whether they are alive or they are dead. Should Cameroonians be begging for such information, or is it not their right as taxpayers to know that a citizen of theirs in a region where some ministers say was under control is still under captivity?
Yes, your question is right. He said something that sometimes there are personalities that are taking important more than the others. 5 divisional officers. You see, when you follow social media in this group, there are people who say that there are people who declare that the war will die a natural death. That is the mentality that is even those who are responsible to take the actions we are expecting are trying to apply. And then I would like to see things this way. You see, this mother said that the military is going through hell.
That is difficult for the
military. Do you know that it is sometimes very difficult when you come out and make declarations, but it is another person who goes into the bush every day. The person is going crossing rivers, trying to put things in orders, and you just come to the air and make declarations. We have to understand that our own declarations, sometimes by our elites and the government officials, can provoke even the military. The military sometimes can feel tired, and then they will not. If you have been in the forest for 7 days, at least you will feel tired. That some of these people are not. That's why you see some of these people are still in captivity, because really, she said that the military is tired. But by the time they are tired, instead of us going towards...
No, she's not saying it's tired. It's that the military
are going,
is difficult.
It's very difficult. It's not different from being...
but you are interpreting it.
Yeah, I'm interpreting it. I'm trying to compare the situation of this mother and the 5 delegates. You see that there are people that are kidnapped that is too pronounced. Like this one was a senator. You see the government is looking at it as a slap. That they put more effort more than other personalities, in which the lives of those people is very important to themselves and their family, and even the state as a whole. This statement that our elites have been saying that the situation is under control. If the situation was under control, these 5 delegates wouldn't have been in captivity, or the Fon of Norwest wouldn't have been in captivity. That's where I'm trying to drive to.
Okay.
Yes. We begin to see that if we don't take care, a panelist said here sometime, if the military become tired and then decide themselves to revolt against the government, then the situation is not going to be what we are seeing today. We have to be very careful. And then the government has to put investigation on the side of the government as concerned the crisis. Okay. Because really, you see, we have been using it. There's a language we are using here, and we are forced to use it. From the ministry, it was said that she was rescued, and then she herself, I don't know whether it was by mistake, she said that she was
innocent. Said the first word is
can use any of this word without facing confrontation from anybody. So this situation is putting us in doubt. And it is our concern to comment about it, because normally we feel the pain more than the people in the offices.
Innocent said the first word that came out from her mouth was truth. I don't know how true that one is. Happy Sunday, panelists. This is Collins in Germany. It is your responsibility as journalists to bore enough to keep saying that the right and truth to the government, to adjust. Of course, journalist is not a civil society advocate. A journalist is not an activist. Journalist is supposed to be balanced, fair, and objective. Good afternoon, my media prime. If the local population of Bambalang wants their fund back, they collaborate with the military. Their fund will be released. Their fund will be released. Okay. The population know who kidnapped their fund and where the fund is. Cameroon Rapid Intervention Battalion is not in competition with Ambazonian. And let me inform the panelists, if they used the word rescue, it seems they are in competition with Ambazonian This is coming from C. Alan Omar, writing from Betua, in the East region. Alan, do you know why I censor some of those words? Happy Sunday. I love your program talking about the communique after the release of Mama Mundi. It is really funny. Our government don't act on pressure. Our government don't act on pressure. And again, those still in captivity show that the stakes and challenges in various localities, interest of those concerned and weight of the population is not the same. This is coming from Divine from Bello. Divine from Bello. This other one reads, it says, please, if the military fought the boys and released Mundi, where was Mama when the fight was ongoing? Why can't the military fight and release the fund and delegate the government? The government is not this is coming from Edwin from Banjong. There are some words that, of course, for professional reasons, we cannot read on TV. I want us to go back to that excerpt of Senator Mundi again before I ask my question to you, Emmanuel, based on some issues. Let's go back to the video of Senator Mundi.
And all the generals are present. There are times when a politician cannot talk much. As a teacher politician, I should not lack words, but there are times when the emotions are too heavy. I'm really overwhelmed with a concern for my release, starting from the presidency. In fact, I thank the head of state. I thank all the generals and all the military people. As they say in Pidgin, story long, time short. What I have seen in this month is not what we can talk here. But this country, this region is at war, real war. It is not easy. It is really difficult for the military. It is not easy.
Senator Mundi, in her last words, as far as that interview is concerned, said, this region is at war, real war. It is difficult for the military. It is not easy for the military. Emmanuel, but we've had ministers, top-profile ministers, who say the war is over, we just have pocket of resistance. And now, this senator, highly respected mother in the Northwest region in Cameroon, says, come back from the lines and say, this region is at war, real war, it's difficult for the military. Is it because it's difficult for the military that we've not been able to have the Ndian 5, we've not been able to have the Fon Of Bambalang, and what formula did they use in Mundi, Senator Mundi, that they cannot use in the Ndian 5?
Like Jesus Christ taught his disciples, life and death are in the powers of the tongue. When you talk about the so-called ministers who said the war was over and it were just a matter of pocket of resistances, remember that's part of the fuel. Fueling does not only mean you go to the petrol station, Total, or Neptune, you buy petrol, you come and pour somewhere, you put like, no. The first fuel is your tongue. What comes out of your mouth? I want to tell you that those who have even marketed what is known in the world today as Ambazonia is Yaoundé. You and I, except you ever knew it. I did not know anything. I grew up never knowing anything called Ambazonia. Up to 2016, I had never even known that something existed somewhere called Ambazonia. Where did I learn it? I learned it from my government. I would have hardly gone to the dictionary to find out the meaning of the word secessionist, terrorist. Where did I learn it? I learned it from Yaoundé. Which means that by hook or by crook, Yaoundé has participated in developing and promoting this ideology, because it's an ideology. That's why from the beginning we have been saying that ideologies can never be shot with guns. It only takes a stronger ideology to subdue the other. Now, coming back to your question, I think that when Boko Haram, let me use Boko Haram as a parallel. to answer your question. When Boko Haram was at its apogee, at the peak, there is a minister, a dead minister of justice in this country whose family was kidnapped. The government negotiated for their release, and they are living today well and sound. Now, in the case of Northwest Southwest, there are some areas that I want to avoid because I don't understand how the military will actually go into the bushes. I thought that when they are fighting a war, they come out from the bushes dirty. They don't come out with shoes very clean. And then we don't see any chavum or the hideout of the separatists destroyed. Because in recent times, we all know that when separatists or Ambazonians are captured somewhere, we see den guns on their chests. We see even their testes pulled outside.
Mad Dog was killed in
Mad
Bamenda. We saw
there are a lot of them. Let's not just be counting names. Mad Dog and Chacha and the rest. We see their hideout destroyed, ramshackle.
Even the one in Lebi Alem was carried to Kumba.
And that has been a sign to show the might of our military. What happened that a top official like Senator Mundi was released and the people came out with their shoes well polished. Now, I don't want to go into that polemic. To say that it is so difficult for the military to release the Ndian and the Bambalang fund will be an understatement, and at the same time will be an overstatement. And I explain. Like somebody indicated there, something can transpire between the people of Bambalang if they want the chief back. I'm reacting to that message.
Yeah, the message sent by someone.
Which means that, to me, if the government could also use another means, then negotiate to get the 5 Indian and then the Fon Of Bambalang, it will be laudable, because what we are looking at here should be life. No other thing again. If they have to come out and surrender their post, let them be out first. What further makes it complicated is that we have a crisis that was genuine. We have a group of criminals abroad who have hijacked it. They have made it a money-making arena. They are eating fat from it. When we got stories that Madam Mundi was taken by ADF, ADF cannot stand face to face and speak with ARF, whether I'm pronouncing it well, SOCADEF. It means that each of these factions, there are those factions that when they take, they negotiate and they release. And we have seen it often with ADF. When you go to the social media, you read it yourself. They say that there are other factions that capture people and the people never come back, no matter what they ask for the answer. So it could be possible, Tah Mai Jarvis, it's not very complicated. This case has proven to us that it's not very complicated. If at all, you are ready to go that mile to get back your person. So I think those people, as we pray that they should still be alive, if at all they are still alive, we think something can still be done.
Barazil, and I don't think you really answered my question. Let me come back to you. Your brother is in captivity now. The state has not released an official communique. It is getting to 1 year. Is it that some people are more important than others? But Senator Mundi said nobody is more important than others. We are saying that the government has not even reacted. Even we're expecting that the communique that was released, as far as Senator Mundi rescue is involved, they would have said, we are working to get others who have been kidnapped released.
Yes, I answered a question Regina is not understand. What I'm trying to say is that I answered the question. What I'm trying to say is that in the case of Senator Mundi, the fact is that it might be that she was kidnapped where people know her, and people leaked to the ministry, to the military where she was, and they went there and rescued her, if I thought she was rescued. But now, in Ndian division now, my brothers, that is why she was just there for 1 month.
Do you mean that
let me land. Now, in Ndian they were captured. And the Cameroon military, the highest intelligence is the people. The highest intelligence is the people. Because if the Cameroon military want to rescue them, but the problem I have with Cameroon military is that anywhere that they go with their uniform with gun, and they make people to understand that they are super. They terrorize everybody that they see in such a way that people are even afraid to talk to them. Because the highest military, I don't know who trained Cameroon military, but they are supposed to know that at least the highest intelligence. And some just said that if they are, they can work with the people of Bambalang and release their fund.
But we saw of recent, top elites went to Ndian and they held a meeting with the population. So this same population that came to that hall, though with August visitors from Yaoundé who were talking to themselves alongside with some youth, those youths could not give them information that these people who were kidnapped here are in this place, are in this place, are in this place.
Yes, information. Let me tell you something.
Or did the people need collaboration from the military before the spokesman released a communique to talk about the situation of their kidnap 1 year after?
Well, as my co-panelist said, the government to send some special people to spy it. In the Ndian division, the Prime Minister is from Ndian division, and there are other top government officials from Ndian division. In the Northwest, Minister Tangaji is from Northwest. Minister Nalova is from Southwest. So what I'm trying to say is that these people themselves, they don't even care. They have already entered the government and are used to the government. They don't care about what happened to the officials. Because I don't see how they will kidnap somebody, people, top government officials, because they were the people actually developing Ndian division. Those delegates, they went out for a mission. But the Prime Minister have not said anything. Nobody have said anything in their release. But as I was saying, these people are not known in Ndian division. That's the first thing. Those people are not known.
So are you saying, I want you to answer this. Are you saying that Jarvis goes to Kwakwa, Jarvis is kidnapped in Kwakwa by people identified as armed separatist fighters? Jarvis worked in the Ministry of Commerce or any other ministry as a civil servant. Jarvis went under the mission of the government. Now Jarvis is kidnapped. Because Jarvis is not known, is it a prerequisite why the Ministry of Defense, charged with protecting lives and properties, have not released a communique 1 year after Jarvis was kidnapped?
See, let me tell you something. When you are living with your neighbor, you need to know the fact is that all those who have been killed, those who have been kidnapped are Anglophones. Those are the government say, okay, you people, because these guys, they have 3 other groups. I'm sure it's 3 or 4. Now, ADM is there, ARM is there, this one is there. If at all, they are fighting for the restoration of land. Which land are they restoring? Now, the fact is that what? They are killing themselves, they are kidnapping themselves. So, at one extent, the government does not actually care what is happening to them. So, it is them now to make sure that what? They take care of their own. That is what the government is doing. I said the Prime Minister is there. What has the Prime Minister did? What has he done? They went there and did the peace conference. That peace conference to me was just a sham. Now, because it did not come out with any result, those guys now, nobody knows whether they are dead or they are alive. Mr. Tanganji is there. What has he done? Look, let me tell you something. When you appoint officials from certain areas, you want them to take care of their people. If Anglophones cannot take care of Anglophones, you expect the Minister of Communication, who is a Francophone, to sit and release a statement on behalf of Anglophones.
Of course, the Minister of Communication is charged with the protection of lives and property.
The Prime Minister, the Prime Minister is above. The Prime Minister is above all the ministers. People are kidnapped in his jurisdiction.
Thank you.
He cannot do anything.
I want to acknowledge all those of you watching us on Facebook. We want to acknowledge you, Nkai Abdian and Aqua Rigobert, Elvis Oji. We'll take on some few messages on Facebook. Marvis Mbanda, also Baka Foncha, Zakaria Ashu, Gobison Song Derek. I want to acknowledge all those of you watching us on Facebook and say that keep your comments coming in. We want to also acknowledge you, Gobison, is it Gobison? We want to acknowledge you, Rene Ewane. Also want to acknowledge you, Nivelle. We want to also acknowledge you, Prosper. We want to acknowledge you, Tata Soni. Want to acknowledge you, Nka Tata Soni. Mavi Mbanda, Carlo Lois, all those of you who are keeping the conversation on Facebook, Bull Elvis, Amos, Andy, Maka, Valentine, want to acknowledge you. You wanted to react briefly?
Yeah, maybe just 1 minute to acknowledge someone. Please, just want to acknowledge the Balikumba Youth Association there back then in Yaoundé. Today, where we're having an annual meeting, first meeting with at the Funds Palace, Bagya Yaika. And I also want to salute the king.
Maybe you do that towards the end, you know?
Yeah,
so I thought you maybe wanted to give an introduction.
Of course, to what he was saying,
we don't have enough time.
I just wanted to proceed with your acknowledgement. But wait, back, I was trying to react to what he was saying about whether some people are more important than other collaboration. Mr. Tah Mai, what I said before about how to get a lasting solution to this problem is that the powers that be, the government in place, has the legitimate authority over its population. And instances have actually proven that if the government is of good faith, or if they apply the rules that they actually put down, the population will collaborate. Remember, these people are not being kidnapped in one forest where people don't exist. No, there are people around there. So what happens? It means that some people may and others may not know where these people are hiding. I think before the release of Senator Regina Mundi, it was said that during that period, it was being said that the secret of her hideout was being leaked in Bamenda, and that is what actually paved the way for where she was. So it means that somehow, somewhere, somebody knows where some of these people are. But what do they benefit giving out the information to the government? Is the government even better or worthy enough to have the information? Some people also pose that of question. So it is something which warrants.
When you give information, they will tell you that you are one of them. So they need to guarantee you. Yes, they need to guarantee you that if you give this information.
In essence, that's what I'm saying.
When you give information, they tell you are one of them. So the military need to guarantee the citizens that if you give this information, your life will be safe.
That's what I was saying. Like, okay, if you put that decentralization is the process which will actually gain a solution to this problem, apply the decentralization in its entirety. If we think that this is this, apply, because even the decentralization, most people say they are not moving. So
happy Sunday to you all. My opinion is that I have been following up things on all media channels and compare facts from both sides to come to the conclusion that Senator was rescued because there was a long surgical operation with good intel about her whereabouts, and this is coming from anonymous sender. This one right, he say, hi, good day. Do not forget that the former subdivisional delegate for Batibo, Mr. Divine Namante, the Northwest Regional Delegate for Social Affairs, Mr. Young, all kidnapped in Batibo in 2018, and we are still to have information about them till today. Thank you very much. Thank you too for commenting. The brother of the delegate kidnapped is right. The MINDEF says and thank the population for collaborating because the senator is a philanthropist and the population stood by her. The Fon Of Bambalang is still in captivity because his people are not collaborative. Thank you very much for your message. This other one read, it says a good day to you all. I just want to say that the technique used by the military to free Miss Mundi should be used to free the Fon Of Bambalang. If only she was rescued or she was let to go voluntarily by her captors. Barazil Su, writing from Bangkok. This other one read, he said, greetings to you all in the studio. This woman was released and not rescued. Let the government be honest enough to say the truth and stop misinforming the public. If the military had tried to rescue the senator, the voices would have harmed the voices, in your words, the voices would have harmed or even killed her. Who is Yaoundé fooling Abraham from Yaoundé? Also want to acknowledge you writing us from different parts of the world, just to reject the discrediting information about the shoe of the military, that a real picture of what illusion to without her release was a rescue or not should be drawn from the picture of the military taken in the bush before the one of the airport in Bamenda. And also, these are issues being raised by Cameroonians that, of course, the government has right to protect lives and property. And now, in this case, that someone is kidnapped or 5 persons are still in captivity 5 years to today, Is it because of the fact that they are not known in this locality that the government is not talking? Or the government, for the government to release an official communique, the people must first collaborate? Are they not working under the government?
From your whether they are known in this locality, I would say that for what my brother Barazil, he said here, if you want to take from that corner, that woman is in the area she was taken to, she's not known there. The fact is that she is from the Northwest and she was kidnapped and she was kept in the Northwest. The particular place where she was not known there. Jarvis, there are words that I see, all of us we are dodging from it here, but to an extent, you from your person, we have to air it out. Our mother said that it is really difficult for the military. Truly, it is difficult. The 5 delegates and the Fon Of Bambalang is a proof to tell us that some groups resist, and then there are some that accept collaboration. There are groups that resist. Some do not accept any collaboration. And it comes to make us to understand, some people have been trying always to raise a point that the separatists is not one group, they exist kind of separatists. Let me ask you a question. If you know where Ashong is, how do you believe that the way this woman was kidnapped, let me go behind, the way this woman was kidnapped is different from the way the delegates and the Fon Of Bambalang were kidnapped. Those people were kidnapped and taken on bikes and taken away. But this woman was kidnapped from the regional capital and taken into her car, right to where she was.
I was about to ask the woman, I will also ask him.
Right to where she was. Yeah. And the car was being used to tour around where she was. How is it difficult for citizens to travel from the regional capital to their villages because of numerous military control on the way? And then it was possible for separatists to take such a personality and not to an extent in that kind the quality of the car. Because know that in a war zone, there are cars that are easily identified. A government car that crosses that kind of zone with this kind of control are taken to that. It is to tell you that the government, I can confirm that the government can solve this crisis, but they are only reluctant. They can solve it because this method that has been used to release this mother, and the method that was used to release the family of was it the Speaker of the National Assembly? Minister of Justice. Minister of Justice. And many other, if the government could collaborate with the Boko Haram, they let them use the very method to apply to these other people.
Duke, Eno, Gomez, Mr. Jarvis, and all panelists, thank you guys for your program. And I wish to ask you guys if the government is watching this program. You guys are always having. Thank you very much. Duke Emmanuel. People are asking this a very, I think, an important question. This is what goes in the minds of people in Bamenda, that where the revered senator was kidnapped, her car was spotted in the area where the government says she was rescued, and that there are several checkpoints along this area.
About 9.
And now, yes, there are about 9 checkpoints. And that car, you know, the terrain of Bamenda is practically difficult for that car to navigate without passing through the main roads right up to where she was rescued, released. Now, how come she passed all the kidnappers passed all through these 9 checkpoints? And in the same Northwest region, these control posts, they are always there from morning to evening because they work in shifts. How come they navigate all this area and went? And secondly, how come till today, this same Fon Of Bambalang have not even been located? If the senator was located in Bamenda, and should the people, collaborate before a government release an official communique? I've asked you 3 different questions.
Yes.
The first, how was she able to navigate? How was the kidnappers able to navigate from where she was kidnapped, pass through all these 9 control checkpoints without being spotted? The second one is, must the people collaborate effectively with the military before they are given an information from the defense spokesman?
To start with, before becoming a military man, you are first of all a civilian. That's one thing. And to be a successful military man, just take for example that those who left Bamenda for the first time after joining the military corps, were sent to Tukumbere, others were sent to Mora. They did not know the terrain. The people who actually helped them to live alive there were the population. I know what I'm talking about. And we have had enough information from these military men actually thanking the population of the Far North for making them to live. One even told me that for me to still be alive today, it is not thanks to this gun. It is thanks to the collaboration that came from the population. In this case, you have a very pertinent question. You are asking whether for the military to survive or to succeed, they must collaborate with the population. The answer summarily is yes. But the problem now is the treatment that the men in uniform give to people in Norwest is something that you cannot bear to share with them. I told you and I cried in this studio how a gendarme officer held me in Bello. And I had to pay 2,000 francs to recollect my ID card because it was written on the ID card enseignant. And just for the fact that my ID card bore enseignant, I was already a criminal because we are the ones bringing problem in the country. I shouted to the authorities that be in Yaoundé. Thank God the young man is no longer there because I was not the only case. Even Reverend Men of God.
He's no longer the only
Yes, I think they transferred him to Bamenda Center.
Okay.
He's no longer a Bello. And I think we cried and the government listened. So if they could listen to such cries, they should equally listen to the general cry of everybody. That's one. Two, if you leave city chemist roundabout Bamenda to Bamili, you have at least 8 checkpoints, Tah Mai Jarvis. Which means that anything that passes must be visited by these checkpoints before you go to the next checkpoint. Now, taking from where the senator was kidnapped right to where she was, the checkpoints are not even as simple as you may think. They are the well-trained, equipped, militarized, heavy ones. Now, since when did Madame Mundi's car develop the technology of skipping over checkpoints, flying over checkpoints to land where she landed without being noticed?
Maybe they use avion de nuit.
Yes, l'avion de nuit. We are in a country where we even have petit sorcier, petit sorcier, in the words of our president. Now, it tells you that something is wrong somewhere, that our naked eyes are yet to see clear. But when our naked eyes shall succeed to see clear, our mouth shall also have the courage.
Okay. Thank you very much. Those of you who are writing us from Facebook want to say Fred Photos. Say thank you guys very much, my brothers. God will see us through. Also, greetings to you all in the studio. Happy Sunday. This coming on Star Justine. This other one read, it says hi Kotem. Balikumbat Pride is coming from CJ Gilly GT. This yes, this other one says good work in the house, keep the trend. Mr. Jarvis is coming from Ashimilion, and also I want to thank you all. In case you're watching us, you want to be a member of House of Commons and you want to participate, you can write me on the numbers that are on your screen. I will include you into our general WhatsApp group and I will share the topic. I always share the topic on the general WhatsApp group. If it is a topic that you want to be part of, you can indicate and we will tell you our direction to our studio and of where you participate. Now, I come back to you, Prince Kotem. Okay, I come to you. Innocent. I come to you. Innocent. Now, I think we should add one more person in this abandoned list. The driver of Senator Mundi.
Good. That is it.
The driver. Nobody is talking about the driver. We have not had an official communique. Even in the communique that was released by the Ministry of Defense, is the driver that also not important? That the driver would have, at least they would have mentioned that we are working to secure the driver's release. Or because what was stated was what was in the car, or I don't know. Maybe I'm not getting things right.
Okay, yes, before I answer that question, let me go to what my co-panelist said. The duty of the government is to protect its citizens.
And properties.
And properties. Now, who is the government? The government is the executive, the legislature, and the judiciary. Now, the executive has the president as the head, prime minister, and ministers. Because the president appointed them to assist him in his duty to protect the people and to take care of their properties. Now, if your own region is on fire, the president has appointed you as the prime minister. People are kidnapped in your division of origin. You sit quiet. You have not uttered a word. What are you signifying? Are you signifying that you are happy that they were kidnapped? Or what are you saying? So what I'm trying to say is that the fact is that the government, they should not blame the president. These people who are from the Southwest and Northwest, the elite, who are from the Southwest and Northwest, they need to do something to protect their own. And even the Amazonia guys, those who are fighting, the separatist fighters, the work that those Unitarian delegates they were going to do, it was to develop the region. It was to develop that subdivision is one of the there's them enclaved in this in the Southwest. Now it was to develop that region, but they kidnapped them, and very soon they will be the one complaining that the government is not fixing roads, the government is not doing this, the government is not doing that, because they were actually going to make sure that they will put lights and do other things. Now, we should not blame the government, as I said. These Southern Cameroonians, these ministers, Atanganji, Nalova, particularly the prime minister in particular, they should do something. Now there's even technology that you have drones, that they can use drones and look for those people if the government is willing. Okay. The government too is not even willing. This government does not care about anybody. They care only about themselves. Even you die, you live, you don't care. So anybody who is working for this government and think that you want to kill yourself. Immediately as you die, they will appoint somebody to occupy your position and they will continue working. And now talking about the driver.
Briefly,
the fact is that the person who they needed was the senator.
And not the driver.
And not the driver. So they took the senator, maybe the driver was...
So is the driver not a Cameroonian? No. Is the driver not a taxpayer?
No,
does the driver not contribute to the sustainable development of the country?
I'm trying to say that if the driver was taken, they would have said was taken. Maybe they took only the senator, they leave the driver.
No, but the driver was also taken.
Thank you. It shows that in this country, there are people who are more than others. It just shows that even the government is not made, because if the driver is taken, they are only talking of Senator Mundi means that there are some people who are above that. And maybe that is why, then because senator, if you want to take hierarchy, the president is first, the senate is second.
Okay,
the senate president is second. So that is why.
Kotel.
Yes, Mr. Tah Mai, my very good friend.
I think we should ask now the driver in this. Why are we not hearing about the driver? Why did the communique exempt the driver of Senator Mundi? And Senator Mundi came out. Maybe she was too, still feeling somehow frightened, not to even mention that her driver is still under captivity.
He was happy.
Tah Mai, I'm a jurist, not a lawyer. To say I'm a jurist, and jurists at times spare people of long conversations, and they just ask you a simple question which I may want to, and which is it's a rhetorical question. Putting all those questions together, why the driver is not being held, it's like investigating a flagrant delicto. I don't know if you know about that.
Yes, flagrant delicto, where you are caught right-handed.
It's like investigating a flagrant delicto. What do you want to investigate? Let's be honest. Where is the driver? What happened to the driver? How did they manage to skip all those checkpoints and the like? Look, we are turning around. We are just turning around the same thing. It is what we need to be looking on now is how young people, young Cameroonians need to, because remember we are approaching the Third Republic. We are with a regime which is gradually coming to an end, and what we should be doing, is of the young people should be more emancipated politically. If you don't want to join a political party, join a civil society organization like the one I lead, Bachi and Sam, build together. Wherefore, you will be able to be politically emancipated in order to understand some of these things. Like I said, it's like asking all those questions like investigating a flagrant delicto, which is of no use. So, what is of more primordial, what is of importance at this point is
How do we manage the point until this regime comes to an end? And how do we take from the next regime? Because we are in a regime wherefore it seems like, not like it seems, but that is what actually we're saying. We are compensating. It's like we are compensating the parents who actually fought for independence, or those who took over from those who fought for independence, and this is their time. So, because if you look at it, the gang and the group in which they are coining in, look at Senator Regina Mundi, is one of those eldest people who at least you put is in that rank of those people at that state of the political bureau and stand as that state. So they will not want to leave any of them. You look at the president of the Senate, it's not different from the president of the National Assembly or from the president of the Republic himself. All of them are of that. I think whatever is happening today and people are still looking at it, it is because we are not a taxpayer. The Fon Of Bambalang, not a Cameroonian. Are the 6 delegates from Ndian not Cameroonian? They are, but I say that asking all those questions is like throwing water on the deck's back, because that is, the question has nothing to do with what is happening now.
Thank you.
So thank you. Yes. So
1 minute.
Yes, like I was saying, Bati and Sam built together is carrying on the campaign on violence in schools, which is something which affects all of us. You're a teacher, I think, too, as well. And we have this phenomenon where young people have decided to turn the academic milieu into butcher houses or slaughter houses, or they go to schools now with farms and with machetes and cutlass and hoes and knives and the like. So we are actually carrying out this campaign in order to enlighten and sensitize the young people, Cameroonian in general, on the reasons or benefits of good education and not violence in the academic milieu. So come with us tomorrow in Lycée Bilingue Daido as we carry the campaign. Thank you.
Good afternoon, members of panel. Appreciation to the great job you are doing over there, Mr. Jarvis. Your program is very good one, but still fall under a mixed diet. For your program to have a balanced diet, you have to interview separatist leaders and hear their own opinion, in which I know is impossible. Valley from Lime. Yes, Valley. If these separatist leaders can come to our studio at Fengu Dombange in person, I will interview them. I want to have them in person at Fengu Dombange. I don't want to have them on Skype. When you come, if you can facilitate my interview with these separatist leaders, they should come here in the studio in Douala at Fengu Dombange. Koto, they will have them interviewed. I think that will be balanced. Also, we've been also trying to be balanced. So thank you very much, Valley. This other one writes, it says, love your program. Happy Sunday from Atlanta City in the United States of America. Love your program and will like being in your group. Just text me your name and I will include you in the group, and also you'll be a panelist. Yeah, this one says, I am Mr. Ndumisi Maxwell. Thank you very much. Get involved in the program. This other one writes on SMS says, stop telling lies. One of the SDO from one of the delegates is well known from Ekondo Titi, and he was the one that was killed. That should be Johnson Modika. That was a well-known son of Ekondo Titi, so he was killed. So to say that because they are not known, I think that is, of course, not a. This other read, it says, greetings to you in the House of Commons. The behavior of the government of Cameroon since the start of the Anglophone crisis has made some of us moderate Anglophones to conclude that Yaoundé is out to conquer us in war. And who is that person that will accept to be conquered in war? The military and Amber Boys. The military and Amber Boys. Sorry, please stop texting us from. This other one says, greetings to you in the studio. My great man of God richly bless you. Emmanuel, you are the real son of the soil. You speak wisdom. We are slowly out of time. Like I said before, if you want to participate on our program House of Commons, you can contact me on the numbers on your screen, or you follow me on Twitter. My Twitter handle is Tah Mai. My Media Prime Twitter handle is My Media Prime. You follow My Media Prime on Twitter, My Media Prime, or you follow me on Twitter, Tah Mai, if you want to get more about House of Commons. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Thank you for coming, Ignatius.
Yes, thank you once more. I will end by saying that the government should stop propaganda. The government is carried away by propaganda. That's why you say people like Mad Dog and the other one that was killed in the Biadum were carried to the street and they exposed. Now they are celebrating that they are winning the war. It's the same thing that this senator, that's the game they are playing. They are distracted, and then the real business is not carried out. So I would say if they got my humble government, if you can shift away from propaganda and take things serious. First of all, I'm not very happy with the report that came from the Ministry of Defense concerning this issue. It was still the very propaganda I'm talking about, because you have to know that when something happens like this, why the government is making investigation, media houses are also making their own investigation behind, and individuals are also making their own investigation behind. I'm not happy with their result. Their report is not really what happened on the ground. We have good things that military did on the ground, positive things, and there are bad and there are also negative things.
Thank you.
Once more, good afternoon.
Yeah, Prince, thank you for coming.
Thank you very much, Tah Mai. I want to also take the opportunity to remind all the Balikumba youth in Yaoundé that there's a meeting this afternoon at 3:30 p.m. at the Fond's Palace. I greet you, Lord Petfela Doctor, and the Fond of Balikumba, His Royal Highness for Nganyayim III. God bless the King. God bless Cameroon.
Thank you very much. Also, thank you for coming, Innocent Barazil.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Jarvis. I just want to say that the Southwest elites should stand and protect their own people. The Prime Minister in particular should put all mechanisms in place to make sure that those 5 Ndian are released. Okay. Because I know that he's capable to do that. And I want to also thank God for the life of our distinguished Senator, Regina Mundi, and pleasing with the military that the methodologies that they used to release him, to release her or rescue her, should be used to rescue the Fon Of Bambalang and the 5 Ndian. And so alongside the driver? Yeah, alongside the driver of Regina Mundi. Emmanuel, thank you for coming, the New Africa Era youth.
Yes, it's always a pleasure. I just want to conclude by saying that after looking at Africa and the shape in which Africa finds itself, as the co-founder under the coordination of Dr. Michael Dimancho and Song Derek, we have chosen to help humanity. That is our new religion, hoping that everybody puts hands on deck to push this initiative that has come to stay, never to go away. Because life is when you are alive. It is not when you are dead. So we are after the weaklings. We are after those who are disabled.
Thank you.
Those who have lost their parents.
We're out of time.
In war situations. So we are here to stay. And please, I want to thank the Cameroon government, maybe for the first time, for accepting to visa that document.
Thank you.
Make it legal.
We're out of time. We're out of time.
So that we can work with it.
We're out of time.
So I thank the SGO of FACO,
of course,
immensely.
We're out of time. Why not the head of state?
For the first time.
Why are you not thanking the head of state? Because he's sitting in the position of the head of state now.
I have a favor today. You won't thank the head of state.
If he's sitting in the place of the head of state, when I thank him, it means I've thanked the head of state.
Thank you very much. Gentlemen, thank you very much for coming. You can follow this program on YouTube channel. Our YouTube channel is also streaming live at the same time. The YouTube channel of My Media Prime is BT Media Group is our YouTube channel. BT Media Group is our YouTube channel. When you go to BT Media Group, you subscribe, you have all of our program. Our Twitter, My Media Prime TV. My Media Prime TV is our Twitter handle. And of course, Facebook, My Media Prime or BT Media Facebook page. My Twitter handle is Tah Mai. Of course, I want to thank the producer, Desmond, and also I want to thank the camera persons. I want to thank you, Christian Tebong, and also the technical broadcaster. I want to thank you all for watching. And to see you next time on yet another edition. No matter the matter, what matters is your matter. And what should matter for you is that stay out of trouble. My name is Tah Mai Jarvis from Cameroon's economic capital, Douala, Fengudong, Bange Kotobo Namusadi.